Hello, this is Mandy. I am with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class will be database overview. If you're here with me live, definitely drop any questions or comments that you have in the chat. I'll try to get those answered for you in real time. If it's not a quick, easy answer, no worries. I will definitely stay a couple of minutes after class to try to get that answered for you. Okay, so go ahead and bring those questions on. And if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us with any questions for support. And our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help. Hello, Shauna. Welcome. So, okay, guys, let's jump right in here. As you can see on your screen, I'm already logged into Command. And since this is database overview, we will spend the majority of our class in the Contacts tab over here on the top left. It's the second icon down, little person in a square. If you're not super familiar with the icons just yet, you can always click the red square at the top and it will pop the names out for you. You can also just click it again to hide them whenever you need to. So we'll travel over here to our Contacts tab. And this is where we'll be spending, again, the majority of our time today. The first thing that I do want to show you is how to get your contacts in here to begin with. So there are a few ways. You can do it in bulk, which means more than one at a time, and you can also add them one at a time as well. So I'm going to go through those few options with you first on how to get your contacts into Command. We'll spend the rest of class after that talking about how to get them organized, how to get them prepped for marketing, how you can actually customize this contact tab view so it will be the best it can be for your business and your needs on the daily. So we'll go through all of that and we'll wrap up at the end of class with some of the settings in the back of your command just to let you know where they live if you need to go and tweak any of those. Okay. When we're talking about adding contacts into Command, if you are on a team, you will want to make sure that you are in the right contacts tab. If you come over here to the top right where your name is and click that, you'll notice you have a personal command account and then a team command account. Again, this is only for agents that are on a team. So just make sure the account that is currently showing up here at the top is the one that you want to add those contacts into. Okay. So if it's your team, you'll want to click on your team. You'll be able to see that you are in the team contacts and your team should show up here at the top. If you want to work on your individual contacts or your personal contacts, just give your name a click again and choose personal. Okay, that will let you see now your name should be showing here and you should not see the team name in the top right hand corner. Again, just for team agents. If you are a solo agent, that's a step you don't have to worry about. That's some good news. So when we're talking about adding in contacts, you'll notice a couple of options right here at the top right. You have an option to import contacts. That means more than one at a time and import them into Command. But you can also manually add one contact at a time. And I'm going to show you both of those processes today. Please know at any point, if you're not sure about what to do, if you run into an issue, you can always reach out to us. In fact, if we work with your market center, you can send us your file, your spreadsheet of your contacts, along with your command logins, and we can help get those reformatted and imported into command for you. So just know we're always in your corner to support you there. But I do want to show you in this class how to do it on your own, just in case you prefer that method. Okay. So when importing contacts into Command, there is a way that you can do your phone contacts directly into the Command mobile app. We have a tip video on our YouTube channel. You can look up contacts mobile or import mobile, any of those keywords, and that tip video should come up. That's for phone contacts to be able to import them directly into your Command mobile app. So that's one way. Okay. The second way to import is using a spreadsheet in this import option right here on your desktop. This is the way I'll show you today. When you click import, this window will open and there's two different types of spreadsheets that you can import. Both ways that I'm fixing to show you have pros and cons, so you just choose what is best for you. One way to import is using the download template right here. It's a template from Command. It has the headers, the column headers already set for you. All you have to do is like copy and paste your contacts or type in your contacts onto that spreadsheet, but all your headers are already set for you. And it's not a lot of elbow grease up front, or excuse me, on the back end. I'll show you that in just a second. The other option is just to have your own spreadsheet that you've created, little spreadsheet. You've added your contacts' names, maybe some emails and phone numbers, and that's it. Both options will work, but let me show you some of the things that you need to do to prep that spreadsheet in order to get it into Command. So we'll start with the download template option right here. I already have it downloaded and I'm going to put it on the screen for you. Let me remove that information really quick. There we go. And so you can see the headers to the columns are already set. There's actually 2 rows of headers, and you can see like first name, middle name, last name. Okay. It's a pretty big spreadsheet. I'm just going to scroll really fast. We're going to go through this whole thing together, but I just want to show you how big this is. The benefit of that is that it may prompt you to enter some information you didn't even think to claim about your contacts, right? Maybe you didn't think about collecting their social platform links or something like that. So it does give good suggestions like that for you to capture that information and add it to your database. And also, you don't have to fill out every single column on here. The only thing that is technically required to import on a contact is their first name. So as long as you at least have a first name for your contact, you should be able to import it just fine. You don't have to worry about filling out every single column. Let's talk about some of the formatting on this spreadsheet because again, there is some formatting that you need to do in order to have it import correctly. The 2 headers that you see at the top, they cannot be changed. You don't want to delete one or change any of the names on these headers, okay? In order for it to work correctly, you just need to leave them like they are. You can copy and paste contacts onto this spreadsheet or manually type it. For our demonstration today, I'm just going to manually type it. And so I'll just add the person's first name, tab over, add a last name. You'll see a few other columns here. I'm going to hit the highlights with you just to show you again a little bit of the elbow grease up front on the formatting for this particular file that is required. When you go to the date, birthdays, and the home anniversaries, the good news is pretty much any format will work. It doesn't matter if you use hyphens, periods, parentheses, backslashes for the date. Essentially, any format you enter here will be compatible. So you can just enter that information here as you're going. Let me move my cursor out of the way. It helps if you can type. There we go. And so again, formatting essentially not too picky right here for these 2 columns. The next are going to be the cell phone, personal phone, work phone, and other phone columns. I'm going to scoot over to show you this so you can enter multiple phone numbers for a contact. See if I can get it to squeeze everything on the screen here for you. I might have my font a little big today. Let's go down. Okay. So what you're seeing here and what you're seeing me highlight is there's a column to the right of every phone number column. It's asking you if that particular phone number to the left is the primary phone number. Command will mark it like send out texts or prompt you to call that particular contact using the primary phone number on file. You can enter as many phone numbers as you want for this person in these columns, but Command wants to know which one do you want marketing to. So you can enter phone numbers. Again, formatting is um, not a big deal with phone numbers. You can use hyphens, periods. You'll just want to make sure that it is at least a 10-digit phone number. Ones in front of them is okay sometimes, but you'll want to make sure that you at least have the 10-digit phone number. And then when you have your phone numbers entered, you'll need to add that capital Y in the column to the right of whichever phone number you want to be the primary. So for cell phone, we're just going to say that's the primary. We put our capital Y there. You only need one capital Y per contact. Again, just one primary phone number. And so then you can move along. You'll notice it's going to be the same as I move over to the right for emails. Same system. So we have our personal email we can enter, a work email, and then also an other email. 3 fields for emails, but you still have these columns right here asking which one is primary. So we'll enter an email address and go ahead and mark it with a capital Y. Even if it is the only email address for a contact, you will still need to add that capital Y just to indicate that it is the primary. As we travel over to the right, you'll get to physical addresses. Again, multiple fields to enter addresses for a contact. You actually have 3 different addresses you can add into this particular spreadsheet. Notice it does need to be separated out on this template. Address line 1, address line 2, city, state, and zip code are all required. It will not take a partial address. So if you're going to enter any piece of the address, like the city or the zip code, you will need to add the entire address. Okay. If you just have a partial piece of an address, like again, city or zip code, maybe consider adding that into the notes section or the tags. And I'll show you those in just a second to show you what I mean. Country is optional. And then we have another one of those special columns asking now for a label. What kind of address is this? Is it the home, work, rental, vacation, or other? You'll just want to make sure that you label this appropriately. And so you would add a label in this particular column if you had an address. If you don't have a physical address for this person, no need to fill that in. Mailing. It's asking, is this the mailing address? If you enter a physical address for a contact, you will need to label at least one of them as the primary or mailing address. So again, just using that capital Y in this column beside the address would indicate that. We're going to scoot on along through the other address fields that you can see here. There's 2 more address sections and get to pretty much the end of our spreadsheet here. And you'll notice tags right here in this column. Tags are the way that you can organize your contacts. We'll definitely be jumping into these deeper in just a few minutes. Think of them as labels, file folder labels, right? If you can think of a way to describe or organize your contacts, make it a label. Um, Another thing when you're doing an import, you will want to make sure you have at least one common tag on all of these contacts. That way, if there is an error with the import for any reason, you'll be able to quickly locate all of the contacts on this spreadsheet after they're imported. So you'll see us, if we do the import for you, we always add the word import with the address or with the date. And so we'll add that in and we'll just add those to all of the contacts that we add to a particular spreadsheet. Okay, so you'll see that again, just making sure we have that common tag on all of the contacts in the spreadsheet so that they're easily locatable after we import them in case of an error. So I'm going to delete all that since we don't have those contacts, but we have our little guy up here in this line here. You can add additional tags as long as it's separated by a comma and a space. So let's say this guy is family. Maybe he's also a buyer. Maybe he's also an agent. And so you can add in whatever you would like. Let's say contractor. There we go. And so you can add in whatever tags you would like. You can also add and remove tags after they're imported. But if you do know of some tags that you want to add already, you can go ahead and add them here, and Command will automatically apply those tags to them during the import process. Moving on along, you'll have a source column. It's just how you met that person. Since this one's family, we'll just put family in that column. And then you have a notes section. You can add as many notes as you would like, up to about 10,000 characters. So you can add those here. And then you do have options here for social media platforms. If you already have their profile, you can go ahead and paste it here, and that will import for you as well. Now, I know that was a lot. Don't worry. We can help you. You don't have to remember all of those little things, but I do want to stress the point. There is a lot of formatting that you just saw that needs to happen with this template, but it's worth it on the back end because now that we're done with our file, we can easily save this onto our device. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull it out of view and save it on my device here so that we can go ahead and upload it into our command. There we go. All right. So we got our little guy saved. Going to go ahead and close him. And here, again, back to our command. This is where we were in our command contacts. And all we did was click the import button back here on the right. This is the pop-up screen. Now I can drag and drop a file or click browse to browse my device. Once you browse your device, select your file and click open. This shows our file that we were just formatting. Remember, this is the template that command provided. I'm going to click continue. It reads the file for me because of all those wonderful headers. I would have a list of my contacts on the left that were on this file and could click down them to see all the information that's going to import for each one of the contacts. It maps it for me already. It took the information from the columns and mapped it to the fields in command. It automatically does it for you. This right here is the time-saving part to using the template. All I have to do is click finalize. Lets me know it's working on importing my file so I can return to contacts. You'll see a little blue banner showing that it's working on it. It's usually really fast, guys. We've seen it upload, tens of thousands of contacts at the same time. It sometimes could take maybe an hour, but usually not. I see a hand raised. If you could just put your question in the chat, I'll be happy to help get that answered either now or right after class for you. No problem. Um, so we can just hit refresh on our browser. The blue banner's gone, and you should see a notification letting you know that your import is done. We can see it right here. And don't worry, I made it fail on purpose because I wanted to show you this. Sometimes it will come back and say your import was completely successful and there's nothing else for you to do. That's in a perfect world. But normally it will come back and usually say it partially failed. What this means is some of the contacts didn't import. Either there was a mistake made on the spreadsheet, or maybe that contact is already in your command database and it didn't import them again to help prevent it being a duplicate. Either way, you'll get the results right here within your notification. And if a part of the import or the entire import does fail, you will get a hyperlink right here in your notification showing you a download log option. If you were to download this, it will add it, download it onto your device, and I'm going to go ahead and open it and show it to you. It will show you exactly what contacts failed. Let me blow this up a little bit bigger so you guys can even read it on your screen. It shows us the contact that failed, and I can scroll all the way to the right, and it will give me the exact reason why this contact failed to import. So it's super helpful. It lets you know exactly what the issue was. You could even correct that issue right here on this file and you would need to reformat it again, but you can upload or try to re-import it, in other words. So the phone number must be a valid phone number. It knows that when I put in the phone number of all the digits like this, it knows that that's a fake phone number, and so it did not import. Okay. Houston, I just want to make sure that what you're asking, you actually want to export your contacts from command and put a copy onto like your computer. So you want to get your contacts out. Okay. That sounds good, Shauna. I totally get it. We're actually having storms here too. So if any of my audio is crackly, I apologize. Houston, I'm going to go over that for you. No problem. I'll show you how to export your contacts before the class is over. We also have a tip video too on our YouTube. If you don't make it to the end of the class, you can always check out that tip video too. So that shows us the error for the import, okay? So what I just did is I showed you how to do an import using the template that command provides itself. Let me show you really quick how to use your own spreadsheet that you've just made, okay? Like so. You've got a few columns, few pieces of information, super simple. You can 100% use a spreadsheet like this. You don't have to use the template. The biggest difference is going to be while there's not a lot of work on the front end for a file like this, you will end up manually mapping this, and it is some elbow grease on the back end. Let me show you. So if you do have a file like this, just make sure you only have one row of headers, okay? One row of column headers with the labels in them. And you also want to make sure your information is vertical. So, or let me change that word. I'll say linear. You will want to make sure your information is linear and not stacked. You don't want to see like name, phone number, email. This would be in stacked format. It won't read like that. You'll need it to be linear like this with the first name, last name, phone number, and email. All of the information for one contact needs to be listed in one row, okay? Just like on on the template we just saw. So for this, once you have your file, you have all your head columns that you want. You can add as many as you want. Just a pro tip, go add a column that's tags. Remember, you want all the contacts in your file to have at least one common tag so that you can locate them all after the import, just in case of a mistake. So again, we'll just add in our import tag. Cannot believe it's March 5th. Okay. So you can add your tags here. Again, you can always add a column and a space and add in any of the other tags that you want to add. Okay. You don't have to have one at all. It's not mandatory, but it's always helpful. So now, give me just a second. I'm getting a little sip of water. So sorry, I was choking on air. Okay. Um, so right here, now that you have your file, you can save it to your device. So I'm just going to pull this off screen here and save it to my device. 2 seconds. There we go. And we'll go ahead and close our file. And now, again, see how easy it was to format on the front? There was no funny Y's to add. There was none of that. But now when you go to import this, click import, add your file, and click continue. It doesn't map it for you. You have to actually map it manually. And with the template that I showed you before, you know how it just showed our pretty little contacts on the left and showed all the fields where it should go on the right. Now you have the columns that you had on your file, and you need to map them to the command fields to match them. So for your first name column, you'll need to come over here and find the first name field. Last name, come over here and find the last name column. Phone number, search for primary phone number. And by the way, these little guys aren't in alphabetical order. That would be super helpful, but they are not. So this can be the time-consuming part. This is what I mean by, yes, it's easy up front with a custom file, but you do have to map them at the end, and this can be time-consuming if you had a lot of different columns on your file, okay? Now that it's mapped, you can go over here and click Continue. Isha, this will be on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours, but we do have class archives where we've recorded the class previously. So you can always go to that YouTube channel link that I just shared in the chat and find one of those class archives. And that way you can follow along, pause it, do what you need to do. So now we can see that view. You're welcome. Um, and Julie, I hope you got that YouTube channel. I just put it in the chat for you. I just didn't say it while I was in the middle of that. Awesome. Okay, great. So now we have the view that it's mapped, contacts on the left, shows us the fields that were mapped on the right. Click Finalize. Lets you know it's working on it. We've got that blue banner again. Just going to hit refresh and we should have our notification. Come over to our notification and there it is. And again, guys, these are automatically going to fail. I make them fail because I want you to see the download log. So you would just come here and view that download log again to see the specific reasons why those contacts failed to import, and you can make changes from there. Okay, so that's how to import bulk contacts using a spreadsheet option into Command. Again, as mentioned earlier, there is an option to import directly from your phone into Command as well. So you can use that option. And now we're just going to take a quick second here to look at how to manually add a contact right here, just one at a time. I'll show you this. Most of the fields, you'll be able to clearly see that they were on that command template for the import. Those are the exact fields we will see here. Remember, the only thing required for a contact is a first name. So we'll just enter a name here. There we go. So you'll add the name. Next is relationship. This is something you can manually add to your contacts after they are added into Command. And so to add a relationship, you can choose this option, search for a person in your Command contacts already. Let's pick a little guy here, person McPerson looks good. And you can choose their relationship to this particular person. Okay. What that means is when you have their contact profiles, you will have a hyperlink of each person linked to the other contact profile, meaning you can navigate back and forth between all the people. You can see who's related to who knows who. And also, if you ever print out mailing labels, it will help you there because it will actually send one piece of mail to the same mailing address and list all of their names instead of saying, like, maybe you have 5 people that live at the same mailing address. Instead of using 5 mailing labels or 5 pieces of direct mail in a command campaign, it would just send one piece or one mailing label with all of their names on it. So that's a benefit of adding the relationship, but again, totally optional. You can add a primary email here and choose what type of email it is, the primary phone, and add what type it is. The source, like we saw on the spreadsheet as well, you can automatically choose from a source list that you already have within your command, but maybe it's just a one-off or something specific that you want to include. You can create lead sources if you need to. We'll just choose an existing one. You can also choose from your contacts list if maybe somebody introduced you to them that's already in your database. Again, just another way to track the background to your contact. Next, you can mark them as a lead. If you mark them as a lead, it will give a tiny teal circle beside their name with an L in it. And this is just an indicator to you that you haven't had that real estate conversation with that person yet. So if you haven't, you can always check here to mark them as a lead or just unmark it if you've been able to have that real estate conversation. Tags. Just like we talked about before, these are a great way to organize and label your contacts. It's the best way to also market to them into Command. So, like when you have in Command, if you've checked out Smart Plans or if you've checked out campaigns, anything like that, the easiest way to add contacts to an email campaign or to a Smart Plan is by having them all tagged. So you'll know that this is maybe a particular neighborhood that you want to market to, or contacts that are particular, like buyers or sellers. You get my point. So you can add tags as you're importing a contact in manually. You can just begin typing in the tag, choose from the list, or you can create a tag new. I'm going to show you how to do that in a little while as well, but as you're adding a contact manually, you can also do that here. And you can add multiple tags. Click Add More. We have several other sections here. I'm just going to scroll through quickly just to show you. You can add additional emails and phone numbers to the contact. You can add addresses. You'll want to make sure they have a primary address. And if their mailing address is the same, you can select that. If not, you can simply add an additional address. Social profiles, like we saw before, and you get to choose which platform it's for. Have an About section. This is where you can add your notes, birthday, home anniversary, more relationships, and even their company and job title. And under custom, think about things that you want to know about your contacts specifically. Maybe it's your niche in the market or niche, however you say that from where you're from. And so you could come in here and create custom fields that will help you gather the information you want to know for your contacts. There's even a way in here to create like a drop-down custom field. Say, like realtors do a lot of pie giveaways around the holidays, right? So it's Christmas, you're going to do a pie giveaway. You need to know what kind of pie your contacts like. Well, you can create a drop down in here of like maybe apple pie, pecan pie, what's another kind? Cherry pie. And that way you can easily come in here and fill in that information for all of your contacts. So you can get really creative with it. But again, you can create custom fields that you can add into your contacts to recover some special information that you want to keep. Once you're done, you just click Create. And this is what a contact profile looks like when you open it up. I'm coming right back to this view. I just want to show you how to get to this particular screen, even if you're not adding in a manual contact. So I'm just going to click back to contacts. And all you do to get to that contact profile to be able to open it and view it is just click on the person's name. So we'll click another person here. We can grab our demo make demo. That'll be fine. So I'll just click on his name here. On the left-hand side will be your contact's information. Everything we just essentially added into that contact profile. You'll see their name, when they were last contacted, their health score, meaning you need to gather some more information and you need to reach out to them. You can mark them as a lead, see that little L, or unmark them. You'll see their tags, lead source and account information, neighborhoods. This I'll be circling back to in just a moment, but there's a way to add neighborhoods to your contacts that will help you view market information for the locations that they're interested in. And you can even set up your command to send an automated email with that market information and listings to your contacts. I'll circle back to this in two shakes. Additional contact information is listed here, and social profiles, and you have an about section. Again, all just the information we were just looking at on the spreadsheet, and then also adding an additional contact manually. That's all here. Notice the relationships that we added. This is that hyperlink I was telling you about where you can navigate easily to the other people's profiles that are related to this person. That's for your left-hand side. More informational. You have an edit pencil right here if you need to make any changes. But over here on the right, you have some great goodies too. You have a timeline for this contact, and it will show all the things that you have done with this person, meetings, phone calls, texts, um, listings. If they sign up and create an account on your KW branded app, it will actually show you every listing they view, every listing they favorite. They can reach out to you and request showings or send you a note about a particular listing. So there's a lot of goodies that will be here within the timeline the more you begin interacting with your contact. Opportunities, if you have transactions with this particular contact, they will show here. If you put this contact on smart plans, they will show here, and there is an add to a smart plan option if you want to go ahead and add them right away. Tasks, notes, saved searches. Saved searches, if you're not super familiar with that just yet, this is where you can set up a specific criteria for this particular contact, like they're looking for 3-bed, 2-bath, 2 acres, whatever they're looking for, and it will automatically send them notifications and emails for listings that come on the market. So this helps reduce for you, the agent, the time you have to spend between command and maybe your MLS portal trying to set up searches or trying to send hot sheets to your contacts through MLS. Now you can do it all from right here within command. They do need to have signed up on your app, though, to be able to receive them. We have a tip video called Saved Searches that you can definitely look into that and set those up for your contacts. So this is what a contact profile looks like. I just want to come back and touch on the neighborhoods really quick. We have a tip video that will show you how to add these, but you can add neighborhoods either of where this person lives currently, maybe something they're looking to move to later. Maybe they just want to keep an eye on particular markets and they're just curious and love real estate. Whatever the reason is, you can manually add neighborhoods to your contacts. And then there's a thing called a monthly neighborhood nurture. This is a particular smart plan that your command can do, and it will send a monthly email to your contacts. The content is already created automatically for you, so it's no work on your behalf. As long as that contact has a neighborhood added and an email address that's good, they'll continue to receive those automated emails. It'll have listings, market information, all kinds of goodies in it. So, again, we have tip videos on how to do all of that, monthly neighborhood nurture setup, add a neighborhood, all the goodies. So, definitely check that out. I just wanted to circle back and say this is a great way to add value to your contacts. Everybody in your database needs this. So, it's a good reason to reach out and say, hey, I've got a market, snapshot that I want to send you or a market update. Can I get your email? I want to be able to send this to you. Or what neighborhood are you interested in? Just an easy conversation starter to come from contribution. We're going to go back to contacts now that we looked at our contact profile. And I want to show you how you can customize this particular view here in Command to make it suit your needs better. So now that we're looking at our contacts tab, notice we have columns here. I'll show the contact's name, tags, primary email. This is all customizable. First of all, with the name, if you click on that, you can sort them in alphabetical order based on first name or last name, A to Z or Z to A. So you get to choose that. And then over here for customized columns, you can choose what information shows here in your columns. You can go through and click. Maybe we want to see when they were recently active and last contacted. And on the right-hand side, you can decide what order you see those columns in. Maybe if you know you like to lead gen first thing in the morning and you like to do it by phone call, maybe you want phone number to show first in the first column. Hit apply, and it will change the order of those columns for you here. Notice when you hover over the names of the columns, you can also sort. those back and forth, like our last contacted column would work good. Let's sort that really quick. So now you can see that's in order. You also have a tile version instead of the list version. I'll show you that quickly. Some agents do prefer this better. It really is your preference. We tend to like the list here at SLM just because it does give those headers, those columns, and seems to give you a little more information at a glance when you need it. If you're working with a lot of contacts, you do have the option over here to view up to 500 contacts at a time, and then you can click from page to page using these arrows over here on the right. Once you have a view that you like, you can come right here to your Smart Views and save it. That way you don't have to come in and change constantly, have to filter, have to change your view. You can just come and create a Smart View, name it. You can even add it as your default Smart View, meaning it will be the way you see it every time you log into your command, and just click Save. That way, as you start creating these smart views, you can just come in here and easily click on a smart view just to switch over and see that. Maybe you want to see the recently active, or maybe you just want to see your leads. You have the option to do that at any point. Also, you have some search options here and you have some filter options. So I'm going to show you your filter drawer. This is another way to find and locate contacts. Show you. There we go. So now you can see all the different types of filters that you can sort through. Again, trying to locate particular contacts. Maybe you're getting ready to market to your contacts and you want to see who has a home anniversary coming up in the next 30 days. Maybe you want to see who was recently active on your app. There's just a lot of options. You also have advanced filter options up here at the top right that are pretty great. These are probably my favorite. You can come in here and add multiple filters at once with a couple of conditional options. So, you know that monthly neighborhood nurture email we were talking about earlier? The contacts would need a primary email on file and a neighborhood. So I can add a filter, find email, primary email, and I want to see the contacts whose field is not empty for that, meaning they have a primary address on file. So is not empty. And I can add another filter for neighborhood and choose is not empty. This would help me locate the contacts that currently have a primary email address on file and have a neighborhood on file, so I know I can go ahead and add them right away to the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. You can also use this in reverse. Maybe you want to find the contacts that are missing this information so that you can fill it out. So you could say is empty for the conditional field. And that way, you would locate the contacts that need to have an email address or need to have a neighborhood added. So we'll go ahead and click away from that. Once you've used your filter and you hit apply, you would view your contacts right here, and now you can take action. You can add tags or remove tags to help you keep track of these contacts. Let me show you how you can use a hidden bulk action menu that is right here on your contacts tab. So once we've used our filters, you can select one or multiple of your contacts or the select all box right here. And once you've selected the contacts that you want to take action with, notice your actions menu has populated right here. And there's several different actions you can take. You can add activities to your contacts, like you made a phone call, or maybe you happen to run into several of them at an open house and you need to add that activity to multiple contacts at once. You can add a note. You can add tags to them, like we were looking for contacts that you could add to the monthly neighborhood nurture. I could go ahead and add a tag right here to all of them so I know these are the guys that are ready to go. You can add to an email list. That helps with campaigns. You can add them to a smart plan. If you're looking to remove contacts from your command database, there's a two-step process, archive and delete, but this would be the first to archive them. If you're on a team, you can also change the account that a contact is worked under. And you do have some export options right here. I'll show you another one in just a second if you're looking to export the copy of your entire database. But the export options that you're seeing right here are only for the contacts you just put a checkbox beside. So you can export a copy of them out onto a spreadsheet. You can export mailing labels, but it's in spreadsheet view. And then you can export mailing labels as a PDF, so they show in that stacked format as if you were printing them on a mailing label. You can bulk mark them as a lead. And down towards the bottom, you have some kind of undo ones. So like you can remove those tags. You can also send an email, a one-off email. You can send a text message if you have Twilio connected. And you can unmark them as a lead as well. Share copy is not heavily used anymore. That's literally just sharing a copy of that contact with one of your colleagues. It's not really traceable. You can't track anything with the contact that they do on their end. So that's not heavily used anymore, but all the other options within that bulk action menu pretty much are. So let me show you really quick about adding those bulk tags because this is something you will use a whole lot in your database. I'm just going to choose Add Tag. It shows you all the tags currently available that have already been created within your command database. You can search through them or scroll. Whenever you find one, you can click the box beside it or begin typing up here and choose the tag that you want to add. If it hasn't been created yet, you can always click Create Tag. So let's just make one for today. You can create a tag, choose the color that you want it to be, and then Create Tag. It brings you back to the screen, but notice at the bottom left, it shows that we have two selected already. It's kept track of all the ones we have selected and the one that we created just then, and you can keep going and continue to add more. Once you're done choosing the tags you want to add, you can click Submit, and it will apply the tags to these contacts that you had selected. You'll get a banner right here showing that it's done. If by chance you don't see the tags start populating right away, you can always just hit refresh in your browser, and that should show them to you as well. Couple of things that we touched on, but I want to make sure that I show them to you. Remember when I said that you could export using this bulk action menu right here? Well, you can also export the entire database, a copy of your entire database by coming over here to the three dots in the far right-hand corner and choosing Export All Owned Contacts. This will export them into a spreadsheet for you. And so you can view that. Once you export, you'll get a notification here when the export is done, and it will have a hyperlink that you can click to download the file, similar to what we saw earlier with the failed log. And then you'll notice also you have some other mailing label options here in this list as well, if you want to export them for your entire database. Okay. The other thing I touched on that I do want to show you as well is if you're looking to remove contacts from your database, you would want to archive them first and then delete them. It's a two-step process. If you archive them by mistake, you can restore them. But if you delete them, there is no undo button. So that's why it's a two-step process. Your first process would be to choose from the bulk action menu to archive that contact. We'll go ahead and archive our little guy here. And then if you're looking to delete him, you would have to go to the back-end settings of your command. So I'm going to travel over there really quick to show you. You'll go to your name in the top right, go to Settings, left-hand side command settings, contacts, and then contact archive. Right here is where you will see contacts that have been moved into the archive. You will have the option to restore them, which means move them back to your contacts tab, or you can click the trash can to go ahead and remove them permanently. Again, no undo button, okay? You can do them individually, select a few at a time, or select all and choose restore selected or delete selected permanently. Okay, that's the process for archiving and deleting. I'm going to travel back to the contacts tab here to show you something else about your command contacts, and that is that there is a scan available that will help you locate duplicates within your database. It lives right over here underneath these three dots again, and you can choose check for duplicates. We'll choose that. It gives you a banner letting you know that it's working on it. And so you can hit the refresh button and you should get a notification when that is done. It lets you know the database scan has been completed and we have 162 pairs of potential duplicates. To review those, you can click Review Duplicates and you may recognize where we are. It's back in those settings that I was just showing you under your name, settings, command settings, and contacts. This is where database cleanup lives. And you could come back here and go and peruse the different duplicates it believes it has found. You can choose to ignore them if you know for sure that that is definitely not a duplicate. Or if you find one that definitely looks like a duplicate, you can go ahead and choose to merge, and it will let you compare side by side the information. And if you believe this is the same person, choose which one you want to keep. This one, the information will be merged over and you'll lose this contact, and click continue. It will go ahead and let you review the information and click merge and delete, and it gets rid of that. Okay? And so again, it's just a way to find and clean up your database, find duplicates and clean that up. Okay? While we're back here in the settings, I'll just touch on a couple of things for you here just so you know where they live. Again, you most likely will not come back here very often, but command settings, contacts, we already went over our contact archive. I do want you to see where lead management is. This is where you can set up lead routing rules within your command. Like if you want all of your internet leads or all of your KW agent site leads that enter their information onto your website, maybe you want them all immediately added to an introduction email, smart plan, so that a smart plan email will go out right there to them immediately to say, hey, watch your phone. I'll be reaching out to you shortly. But in the meantime, I'm so and so, and here's some free resources to get you started. Just throwing some ideas out there. But you can create those lead routing rules right here within lead management to tell your command what to do with those leads as soon as they enter. So you can get really creative, heavily leverage this because it is automation for your command and it saves you time in the long run. Helps you convert those leads too, since you'll be hopefully one of the first ones to reach out to them and help convert them. Last but not least, you do have your custom fields back here in command for your contacts, and this is where you can come and create those custom fields. We have tip videos for all of these items, so you can definitely check those out on our YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording for the day and get to these questions in the chat. If you happen to be watching this back on a recording and you have any questions for us, you can always reach us by email. It's support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.